You're listening to the Sad Boy Podcast.
Yeah, sad boy, yeah.
Very, very sad. Very sad.
Hello and welcome. You are listening to the Sad Boy Podcast, which was said in the beginning. If you are new, I am one of the co-hosts, actually. I'm Russell. If you are someone who's been listening for a long time, welcome back. What's up? You may notice that I'm alone today. So Lucas, the other co-host, and Erica, which is one of the guests, they're busy with school. So I'm here all alone. So welcome. You guys get to listen to me talk for I don't know how long that I can talk for. I'll do my best. So what am I gonna talk about today? It's a very good question. There's a lot of ums because I really don't know what I'm gonna talk about today. But it's week number 3 for me in this quarantine. I hope you're all doing well. Staying safe, staying home, social distancing, and all that stuff. What have you guys been up to? I know last episode I did talk a little bit about what I was up to. But one of the things that I thought of, actually, so I don't know if you guys remember, but I think it was the summer of 2008. I don't remember. There was a giant blackout. And I think it was for 3 days or something. Because back then we had no power at all, and I was just thinking, what if it was back then where technology wasn't as advanced, we're trapped at home, we're not allowed to go out, but there's no electricity, which I think back then it was kind of similar, because if there was no power and your car was in the garage, you were kind of trapped. And back then there wasn't any smartphones or anything. Actually, I think it was way further back in 2008. I think it was early 2000s. I think. I don't know. My memory's really bad. But yeah, I was just thinking nowadays, we're at home and we're privileged enough to have so much access to, Netflix, Disney Plus, gaming systems, internet, computers. It's just crazy thinking how technology has advanced. Oh, right. Side note, this is completely random and off topic because, this whole podcast has been very turbulent. The day that this podcast goes out, it's actually Tuna's, not really her birthday, but it's exactly the day she's 11 months old. So for people who don't know who Tuna is, it's not the fish. I wish I had a fish called Tuna. That'd be ironic. But no, it's actually my cat, a little kitten. She's usually one of the it's kind of the uninvited guest that kind of just destroys things while I record or while me and Lucas record. She's a troublemaker. Anyways, back to what we're talking about. So what were we talking about? All right. We were talking about technology and, all of us being kind of trapped at home right now. So yeah, back then, I remember during that blackout, I think all I did was I played mahjong with my family. I didn't really know how to play, but I was just there for shits and giggles as a child. And then now with this whole situation, me and Lucas and Eric have actually been playing MapleStory a lot. kind of bringing back that nostalgia from like high school days. And I kind of regret playing because I'm an addictive person. So playing MapleStory, at first it was fine. I played like a few hours and I was like, okay, screw it. Like I don't really want to get into it. A few days later, I get back into it, and then I think Chris, who has been a guest on this podcast before, he started playing, and then that he's on like 24/7, I swear. So because of that, I started playing a lot, and then I tell myself every day that I got to do something productive. But because of MapleStory, time flies so fast that I lose track of it, and then I literally wake up from like I wake up around like 11 or 12 now because I have no work. And then I get on MapleStory around like 2 p.m. and I play until like 2 a.m. Like right now I'm actually recording this like almost at like 3 a.m. and I record these things really, really late. So that's another reason why if I kind of run out of things to say and my mind's just kind of shutting off. And I'm also watching Tuna. I don't know what she's doing, but she's trying to crawl into... Tuna? What are you doing? I don't know what she's doing. Hold on. Okay, so I think maybe... I don't know what she was doing. She was like... She's walking back through her litter box right now, and she's kind of just like sniffing around. She's trying to like reach under the litter box to grab something. I don't know what she's doing. But yeah, we've been playing MapleStory a lot. You guys may have noticed that the name of the group is called Subtle Asian Legumes. I mean, it's in the spirit of April Fools, but it's also kind of April Fools to the admins because you can't change the name for 28 days, so we're Legumes for now. So I did post about Pink Bean, which bean is a legume, I think. Just trying to keep in the spirit of it. But sorry, Tuna's very distracting. Tuna, stop. She's a very destructive kitten. Just letting you guys know. But yeah, we've been playing MapleStory. I think last episode I mentioned about learning new things during this time. There was that website I said, it was like freecodecamp.org or something. That kind of like, it has a lot of coding lessons. You can do like certifications. And Tuna is kind of poking her head. I don't know what she's doing. She's distracting me so much right now. Tuna? Oh, the little troublemaker. Hold on. Yeah, so free code camp. There's also a lot of like other things that I've been doing. Like, I usually have Netflix on most of the time. So actually with Netflix, what are you guys watching? What would you guys suggest to watch? Because so far I've caught up on most of my shows, I think, or at least the ones that are on Netflix or Disney Plus. I've rewatched The Office so many times, and like that's actually one of the shows that I just put on when I'm doing other stuff. There's also KDramas. So I was actually just thinking back with KDrama. So I know we had an episode where we talked about Parasite winning the Oscars. We talked about watching Weathering with You, and I've talked about watching things with subtitles. So just to reiterate, the thing with subtitles for me is that I'm someone who likes to multitask. So when I'm doing something, working on something, and I'm watching something, I need that show or movie or whatever it is to be in a language that I can just understand. So I can just have it playing off the side, hence why The Office, I can just leave that on for as long as I want, because I've watched it so many times that just from the dialogue, I already know what's happening. And the same thing with I have Disney Plus, so like I also have been rewatching The Sweet Life on Deck, Sweet Life of Zack and Cody, because that's like my childhood show. So it's always fun for me to go back to rewatch old things. But with anime and K-dramas, I don't hate on the idea of those things. I like anime and K-dramas. It's just that sometimes I just need a show or movie to be in English so that I can understand, or Cantonese. So I remember even back then, like when I watch Hong Kong dramas, I could leave those on totally fine. I understand every single thing. But with K-dramas, it always makes it so that like if I'm watching K-dramas or anime, I can't do anything else. I can only sit and stare at the screen, which is a very normal thing to do. But for me, I always feel like I don't like just sitting there doing nothing. So recently, so this is weird. So I have two screens, and one screen is usually for MapleStory nowadays. And for the past few days, I actually had The Office playing on my TV, which is like right behind me. And then for some odd reason, it took me this long just to figure out that I can just put on my K-drama on my second screen while I play MapleStory. And I think that I never thought of this earlier was because I thought it was going to lag, because I'm still in the basement, so the internet sometimes is like a bit 50-50. Not 50-50, like it's fast, but like there are those little moments, like little like 1 to 5 second where like, you know, the speed just drops and then it resumes normal, right? So for K-dramas, I'm actually catching up on Crash Landing on You. I know a lot of people have watched it. A lot of people loved it. I'm just slowly kind of getting back into it, because before this, I'd usually only watch like a few minutes of it while I'm eating something, because I'm someone who, like, when I'm eating, I need something to watch. So, hey, Crash Landing on You, that's a K-drama that I can suggest. There's been a lot of K-dramas actually coming out on Netflix. I know they have a lot more like Asian stuff nowadays. They do have Train to Busan. Also going off topic, that trailer for that sequel though, that's crazy. Peninsula, I'm actually like dying to see that. If you like Korean zombie stuff, there's Kingdom. Kingdom is, I really do feel like that the only reason Kingdom was filmed and released was because there's another Korean movie called Rampant, which is also kind of like a zombie movie set in like, you know, olden days Korea. So I think because that got really, really famous, then they decided to do Kingdom. The thing with Kingdom, like Kingdom is a really, really good drama that I would suggest. But the first season, it ended on such a weird cliffhanger that I was kind of annoyed. So if you guys watch it, you guys will understand. But season 2 is out right now. No matter what, I recommend that show for sure, and the movie Rampant. For some odd reason though, a lot of dramas, or like there's quite a bit of dramas and a movie that have the actor Hyun Bin in it. He's a really good actor, can't deny that. But it almost feels like he maybe signed a deal with Netflix or something, because there's like 2 dramas with him in it, and then there's a movie with him in it. I think there are other new dramas. They have old ones as well, but with K-dramas though, like it's weird. Before, when I got into K-dramas, it was more of like, you know, like the romance stuff, the cliche love stories. It was always interesting, but then after a while of watching K-dramas, I mean, it's weird to say, but it was not weird, but like it's kind of obvious. Like, you know, these dramas always have like that love story that happens, right? Kind of like a love triangle or whatever. You know, like the nice guy likes the girl, but the girl likes the douchebag, the fuckboy, whatever, right? But okay, so like because of that reason though, I kind of stopped watching K dramas for a long time. I know there has been like a lot of good ones. Like I know like there was one called Goblin, which was really good. The last drama I watched before Crash Landing on You, I think, who was Descendant of the Sun. I think that was the last one I watched, and that was a good one. The one before that, I don't even remember anymore. But when it comes to K dramas, I think one of the ones that I recommend that is not a love story at all. Well, it is a love story, but not between like a guy and a girl. It's more about like a mom and a daughter kind of thing. So that one's called God's Gift 14 Days. I really really like that one because it was kind of a thriller. I'm trying to remember what it was about actually. It was like there's like a serial killer who like mainly was killing kids or something. And then the mom suddenly, I think it was like an accident or something that happened, and then she got sent back 14 days before her daughter was killed, and she tries to find or use that 14 days to find the murderer and stop them. So like I think it was like every other episode, like they think that like she found the murderer and she goes to stop him, and then there's a police officer or detective, kind of like a an unofficial detective police kind of person or private investigator or whatever. He kind of helps this mom look for the murderer. So I don't really want to spoil it that much, but like there's actually no like love interest between like the private investigator and the mom. Like there's no like cliche love story. Like it's really just like the mom and the daughter, and it was really well done. So that's one of the dramas I heavily recommend. And then if I want to go back into like further like older dramas, there's one called King of Baking. So this is weird. This is like a whole episode about me talking about K dramas. Even though I'm someone who like I don't really watch that much anymore. So yeah, King of Baking. So when you hear the name, hold on, Tuna's like crawling behind my TV right now because I have a bag of chips back there. I think she found it, and the bag's kind of making crunching sounds, so I think she's enjoying it. She's kind of looking at me like, the fuck you looking at? She's kind of hiding behind the TV again. But yeah, there's a drama called King of Baking Kim Taku. Back then when I tell people about the drama, people are always like, what kind of name is that, King of Baking? Is it about bread? And the thing is, it is about bread, but it's... Tuna, stop! I'm gonna... I'm just gonna hold on to Tuna. So yeah, Kintaku, King of Baking. It is actually about bread, but there's so much family drama. I think, it was based off of like a true story, or a very similar story to an actual bakery in Korea, I think. But this drama is actually a bit long. I think it was like 30 episodes or 50 episodes. But it was really good. I think back when it came out, I don't remember what year it came out, but back then, the view ratings, I think they were like the highest ever in like almost like 2 decades. Like it was such a good drama that everyone loved it. And I really loved it, especially the actors and actresses in it. They were amazing. So that's one of the top dramas I'd recommend. If you guys want like a funny drama, there is one called Gentleman's Dignity. I think back then the way people described it was kind of like Sex in the City, but like kind of male version. It was also a very, very funny drama. I actually enjoyed it quite a bit. There's also, there's a doctor drama. So I don't know if you guys know, but like, Tuna's like scratching, biting me because she doesn't want me to hold her. In American television, there is a TV series called The Good Doctor. in Korea, there was a K drama called The Good Doctor as well. So the concept is very, very similar. I think it was based off of a novel or comic book or something. I don't remember. But the story is basically about like an autistic doctor, but he's like a genius at it. So the whole drama is revolved around him, trying to be the best doctor with autism and the challenges that come with it. And that was the drama where I had a lot of respect for the main actor, Ju-won. I do believe that I think out of all the actors around his age, and this includes like, every girl's favorite like Lee Min-ho and everything, I think Ju-won is kind of the actor that has more diverse skills. So this is going to be like a little rant about K-drama actors, or main male leads. Oh man, I'm going to be shitting on Lee Min-ho. So Lee Min-ho, he's a good actor. But his style of acting and just his visual appearance, he's always like doing just like a similar role. Like he's never really doing anything different. So I know he has a drama coming where he's like a king, but it always feels like no matter what role he's in, the personality is always very similar. So for me, it gets kind of boring watching it. Not that he's a horrible actor. He's a good actor. It's just that because of his visual appearance, his personality and the roles he plays are always very similar to one another. Kind of like the cool, like I don't care kind of type. And this applies to like a lot of male actors in his age group. The reason I say Ju-won is more diverse is because his performance in The Good Doctor was really, really amazing. Like I have not seen Lee Min-ho or any other actors around his age try anything, different. Ju-won, like he can play the roles that Lee Min-ho does as well, but he can also play, an autistic person, and he did a really good job with it. He did a lot of research into his character, so like it really showed. So he is one of my like favorite K-drama actors. And the thing with like acting, I think for me, when I look at like an actor or an actress, it's sometimes not just about the way they deliver the dialogue or like their actions. For me, I feel like the talent or skill of an actor really comes from their eyes. Simply using their eyes and facial expressions to convey the emotion without using any words. And I think that's really rare. So the main actor from Kingdom, Ju Ji-hoon? Oh, crap, I don't remember his name. But the main actor from Kingdom, he was one of the... he's like one of the first actors that I saw that was able to like convey so much emotions just from his eyes. I think that's like a real skill. He was in a really, really old K-drama called Gong. And then he went to jail, I think, for like cocaine or something. I don't remember, or marijuana. He was in jail and he came back out, and then he was in a drama when he came back out, and it was like about piano or something, playing piano. He was like a piano prodigy, but like he had an incident where like he injured one of his hands, so like he didn't want to play ever again. And that was like the first drama where like I actually watched him act, and his facial expressions literally just he delivered on that scene with just his facial expressions. Like he didn't even need to say anything, and you could understand or you can feel what he's feeling. Like that was talent and skill for me. But again, I'm not saying like any of the other actors are bad or not. I'm just saying like some of these actors are the ones that kind of stood out for me. So like there was a time where I would only watch dramas that they were in because I really admired their work. So that's like K-drama stuff. Didn't expect to talk about K-dramas. I don't really watch anime, so can't really recommend anime. There's also gaming for people who don't want to play MapleStory. I know a lot of people are playing Final Fantasy 14. I guess it also depends on which console you have. A lot of people are also playing Call of Duty Modern Warfare or Warzone. It's kind of like the PUBG or like Fortnite, but like Call of Duty style, which I mean, I see the appeal in, but I'm not someone that, I don't know, I never really got into those kind of games. And then what else is there to do? I don't know. I feel like I just talked about K-dramas this whole time. And I actually did talk about K-dramas this whole time. And I talked about technology and I talked about all that stuff. It's actually very nerve-wracking to do this on your own. Because it's like you're literally sitting here talking to yourself. Trying to think of what to say. I kind of mentally made a list of what I wanted to talk about. But hopefully next week Lucas and Erica will be back. I guess this is kind of my quote-unquote punishment for not being in the episode 2 weeks back. So it's like a one-man show today. Well, I have Tuna. Technically, there's two people. Well, she's not people, but she's a kitten. So she's the co-host. Tuna, say hi. That's not saying hi. You're looking at me like you want to just attack me. Why? Why do you always want to attack me? You're going to be 11 months old and you're still attacking me. I'm your toy. I'm not even your owner. But yeah, I don't know. What else is there to talk about, you know? There's books. I think reading is probably one of... It's weird. Growing up, I never really got into reading, but I was always into writing stories. I think it was just like a lazy habit of mine. And yeah, like I've always had kind of like a dream to write, or draw, or whatever way to kind of, you know, deliver my story ideas. So it was only recently, actually not recently, but like it was like end of last year kind of, where I started reading again. And it kind of, I put things off for a while though, which is kind of bad because like you want to build that habit, right? But the one thing I realized though, like, because I'm not the best writer there is, like my grammar's pretty shit. The more I read, the more it kind of teaches you how to write. So one of the books that I've been reading is called Mistborn. It was actually recommended by one of the other admins, Jeff Wong. So I've been reading that. I think usually back when I first started reading a chapter, it was like around like 10 pages or so. Back then, for me, I was like, oh man, what the fuck? This is so long, man. Like I don't have that attention span. So like I eventually like forced myself to read like a chapter a night. There were some nights where I didn't, because back then when work was still, you know, happening, I'd have to sleep. Sometimes I kind of chill or procrastinate too long, so I can never really read. So I put it off for a while. But the good thing about, I guess, my mind, I guess, when I read is that as I'm reading, I kind of visualize everything into almost like a movie. So even if I put off reading for like, you know, maybe like a month, in my mind, I still have like a visual of like what's happened in the story so far. So during this time of quarantine, I've been trying to force myself to read like around 2 chapters. So like right now, 10 pages a chapter. That's actually not that bad for me. Like I can finish that in like maybe 4 or 5 minutes. I read pretty fast now. So like it is really just, you know, getting in the habit of it. So the more I read, or the more I read, the more I started, you know, writing a bit more and more every day. It's just that I haven't really gotten past chapter 1, because the more I read the book, the more I realized that, you know, this was missing or this was lacking, and then I kind of have to keep going back. So like, I've literally just been like revising the first 4 pages of the book nonstop, because I'm like learning as I go. So a part of me is kind of thinking, maybe I should just like finish reading everything first before actually diving into writing. But at the same time, my mind's kind of like, just keep writing and reading at the same time, because no matter what, writing, even if I have to revise it, it's still practice. So I've actually been trying my best to make my quarantine the most productive. I'm still working out. I know when the quarantine first started, the protocols for going out wasn't as strict. So I know like a lot of people, a lot of my friends were still going to parks to work out at playgrounds or whatever. But now that everything is more stricter and more severe right now, everyone's kind of finding ways to work out at home. So I'm still sticking with like a 4-day routine kind of thing. Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday. I still work out at least for an hour. But I will admit, working out at home is very distracting. So at the gym, usually I give myself, well, I know you're supposed to only give yourself like a 30-second rest between sets. But when I'm at the gym, I give myself maybe like a minute or two, or like if I'm busy on my phone, I give myself a longer rest, right? But when I'm at home, it feels like that rest is like it's even more doubled, because I have like my TV, my computer, I have Tuna distracting me, so like it's hard to really finish your workout on time, and also because like the quarantine, we're all at home. Eating habits have changed too. So because I still live at home with my family, there's always food for me. So it's really fighting that urge to eat. Because literally like an hour ago at 2 a.m. or 1:30 a.m. I don't know what time I went up, but like, oh no, I went up around like 12:30 to 1. But like, I went up there for midnight snack and I ate like bread and peanut butter, and trust, I love peanut butter. But yeah, like this whole quarantine, like it's screwed up my schedule for eating and sleeping. When I don't do midnight snacks though, I guess me waking up late and sleeping late, it's intermittent fasting. Unknowingly it is. Which is great, but I don't know, the schedule is so messed up, because before the quarantine I would eat like a protein bar around like 9 or 10 a.m. Like this is when I had work, right? So 9 to 10 a.m. for protein bar, 12 noon is like lunch, go to the gym after work, protein shake, and then dinner, and that's it, right? But now it's like I'm waking up at 12, or like technically I wake up around like 10 to 11, but I don't get out of my bed until like 1. I play a lot of mobile games on my phone as well. I highly recommend Arc Knights. Tuna's just attacking me right now for fun. But yeah, now it's like I wake up at 12, and then I eat at like 1 or 2 p.m. and then I snack a little bit, and then it's like dinner time at 7. And then I work out, and I'm usually up until like 3 or 4 in the morning. It's a really bad habit. Like I don't even know how I'm gonna fix this when work returns. Which kind of brings me to the whole closure stuff. So my work originally, like back at like mid-March, end of March, around there, my work said that we were going to close and reopen this past Monday. And even when that announcement came up from my company, I already kind of knew that, oh my god, Tuna's frizzling all over me, oh my god. This is why I have allergies every day. You're shedding like crazy. Sorry, no, that's not what my company said. So my company they decided to close. They want to reopen this past Monday. A lot of companies that my friends work with, or people in Salt work with, a lot of their work is either work from home or their business is closed, because of what Ford said or what he deemed essential. So last week, my work actually said that, they're pushing the date to April 20th. And I know that they're kind of like thinking best case scenario. And, not to bring, bad shit into this podcast episode, but this is going to last way longer than we hope. Sorry, there's a lot of cat fur on my face. My face is really itchy right now. I hate you, Tuna. Kidding, I love you. Yeah, it's gonna last way longer, in my opinion. The way that the things have been handled so far, this is just my opinion. This doesn't, reflect, Lucas or Salt or whatever. This is just my personal opinion. Because a few weeks back, when Toronto or Canada's top doctor, I think it's like Theresa Tam or something, she was saying how the window to contain this virus is very narrow, and that we need to do all these things before it gets worse. And in my honest opinion, when she said that, I really do think that we were already past that window for containment, because at the time we didn't have enough assessment centers or hospitals helping with the test results. So we were very behind on the results. So I know they focused on the test results. Sorry, Tuna is very distracting. She sleeps all day, and she waits until nighttime, and then she just she goes crazy. She's the worst troublemaker. I'm gonna throw her in my bed soon. I'm gonna wrap her in the blanket and make a burrito. That was a fail. But yeah, the window was already gone, in my honest opinion. And now that there's more assessment centers getting the results out on time, it's why we have more and more active cases, and I'm trying to capture Tuna now. You are gonna sit right here, and I'm gonna hold on to you, and you're not gonna move. All right, good. Her tail swinging, she's really annoyed at me right now. But yeah, personally, my brother and sister-in-law, they both work in healthcare. She's an ER nurse, and my brother's a lab tech, and basically their hospitals are in a war zone. All of them, every healthcare person that I know that I've talked to, have said that it's a lot worse than what the media says, and that it will get worse because people aren't isolating or social distancing properly. And that's the thing. I have seen a lot of Instagram videos, 6buzz TV. They've posted so many videos of people who are still kind of ignoring the level of seriousness this virus is. It's sometimes irritating and frustrating, because it's kind of if everyone listened and actually stayed home, social distancing, stopped going out to see friends during this time, or throwing parties, because there's a guy in Brampton threw a party and he got fined $100,000. So if you don't want to get fined $100,000, don't throw a fucking party. But if we all followed these protocols and stayed safe, sanitary, and all that stuff, at least, maybe, hopefully, best case scenario, this is done by summer. But right now, because there's so many people who are still, kind of ignoring the severity of this, a lot of people are already estimating this may go on until at least the end of the year. And that's horrible, because if you think about not just the virus, okay, think about the economic impact that this is putting on Canada. We've shut down so much businesses. I know Ford and Trudeau, they're trying their best to keep the supply chain open. But our economy's taking a big hit, and it kind of sucks, but the recession's hitting for sure. And like I said, I don't want to bring like bad news. I mean, this is the Sad Boy podcast, so we are being sad, right? So I've even read an article. I don't remember which famous chef it was, but like his opinion is also like based on the restaurant or regarding the restaurant industry is that he doesn't even think that the restaurant industry can survive this, or not survive, but like even after the virus, it may not survive because, you know, there's so many people applying for like, you know, the employment insurance or the new like emergency fund, right? Canada is gonna be heavily in debt. And because with so many people out of work, it's going to take them time to kind of build money back up before they go to like spend at restaurants or whatever, right? So it's almost like, you know, oh, perfect. Okay, so it's almost like a car. You know, when you start, it's going to be slow, right? You slowly accelerate, you slowly keep going. And then once you reach that momentum, you just maintain that speed kind of thing. Or if you want to go faster, whatever, you want to crash. But with the economy, it's kind of like right now we're taking a huge stop right now. So for us to really pick up everything and to get back to where we were before the virus, it might take a while. So my suggestion to everyone is that if you do not have work and you're applying for the emergency fund, save it up. Don't go buying random shit that you don't need right now. That's my honest advice. Because I'm going to do my best to try to follow that advice no matter what. Some information for you guys, though. There are some banks who are offering deferral on your credit card bills and stuff. I've asked the ones that I'm with, and they don't have any, like they're taking away all the late fees. There's no accrued interest. Like there's nothing. It's literally just pushing your payments back because they understand the situation. It's different from the mortgage deferral. For the mortgage deferral, that one's not that worth it because you still gotta pay the tax and everything or something. I don't remember, but it's not worth it. For the credit card stuff, at least they're just kind of pushing it back. So I've asked CIBC, I've asked Amex. They're allowing the pushback, and some of them aren't even sending out an email. So I think you guys can actually either call the customer service and ask what options they have, and figure that out. So like my car payments as well, like I've asked them to kind of push it back, because unfortunately I'm part of the people who are unemployed right now. For people that are working from home, you guys are still making money, which is great. My suggestion is also save up now. It's funny because not the losing job stuff or saving money, but it's interesting to see how no matter how developed country is or no matter how advanced humans have gotten, we are still so fragile that one thing can just knock us on the floor. It's always been very interesting to see the fragility of humanity. And obviously we all hope that this is going to be over soon, because especially for Saul, like it's been a hell of a long time since I've seen anyone. I'm surprised I haven't gone crazy, or maybe I have gone crazy since I am talking to myself right now. But I think lately, the past few days, I think Maple Story has kind of kept me a bit in check. Also because I'm actually still gaming with like Lucas whenever he's not studying, and Chris. So that's kind of keeping me a bit sane. And Tuna is obviously she keeps me sane, but she also makes me go insane because she is just a little troublemaker that always wakes me up too early. But yeah, was that a rant? I don't even know if that was a rant. I've actually been talking for like 40 minutes. Wow. And this is just me solo. Imagine what I can do for the other episodes. I'm kidding. Because I think next week Lucas and them will be back. I hope. But yeah, I reminded people about the summer blackout from like many years ago. It was like 3 days or something. And then, how far technology has come, like back then I would understand if like you'd say you were bored, but now for people who say they're bored, it's kind of like, man, we got access to like so much stuff. You can learn something new, you can watch something, listen to new music, draw, be creative, do stuff. I think this is the best time to find hobbies and to find more about ourselves. I'm someone who likes to self-reflect a lot. I like being self-aware, and sometimes I feel like I'm a bit too self-aware, but it's good to be self-aware. To find your flaws, to be a better person, not just for you, for the people around you as well. So yeah, I think this is like the best time. So, I know it's like a very bad situation right now, but I guess another way to look at it in a good light is kind of like, we all have this opportunity to be someone different for the better. Not be someone different, like suddenly you become like a fucking psychopath or something, but someone who, you can find out more about what you're good at. For example, I know some people who are updating their resume, their LinkedIn, job hunting, because surprisingly there are still some companies who are hiring. I do think most companies are on a hiring freeze right now. But yeah, like this is a really good time to kind of have a lot of personal time to advance your skills. And I get it, sometimes it's hard because you're home, you're comfortable, you just want to relax, you just want to chill. I've been doing that. I really regret it. I keep telling myself that, tomorrow I'm going to wake up, I'm going to at least do certain things for at least an hour. But then Maple Story takes over my life and I just keep playing Maple Story. So yeah, that's kind of my rant, my episode. I talked a lot about K-dramas. I talked a lot about, what I think is, good acting for actors and actresses as well, both. And I talked about COVID again, which, I mean, it's something that it's hard to like not talk about, right? Because it's everywhere right now. And the thing is, like, not really I don't know if this is off topic, but like I really miss K barbecue or JBBQ. I miss Gyubi. I miss hot pot. Actually, I can hot pot at home, but the only thing that I can actually get is sushi. Sushi takeout's totally fine. But yeah, like I really do want the situation to be over. But obviously next week episodes will be like week number 4 of quarantine. So we're all stuck here, and yeah, like I'm pretty sure this is not gonna end until best case scenario summer. It's crazy. So I guess that's this one-man show episode that I did. I hope you guys enjoyed. I don't know if I'm boring or not. I don't think I am. Or maybe my voice is boring. I don't know, it's really weird to record by yourself. So I don't know how people do this by themselves. I guess they probably have a script. But I'm never one that likes having a script, It's like back when I did presentations in school, I'd have, the list of like what I'm going to say in my head. And then when I'm up there, that list suddenly just disappears. And then instead of going like topic A, B, C, D, E, it just goes to like E, F, D, A, C. And it's just like, it's all over the place. So yes, I'm a very turbulent person. I hope you guys have enjoyed this turbulence of an episode. So yeah, I guess peace out, and we'll see you guys next week with other people around. So good night.
Thanks for listening to the Sad Boy Podcast.
Please remember to subscribe to Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, and have a nice day, I guess.
Yeah, stay sad or happy.
Sad, happy.
Sad, happy.
Sad Boy.
Sad Boy Podcast.
Sad Boy Podcast. Good night.